Okay, okay, good morning and good afternoon, boys and girls. How are we all doing today? Excellent, excellent. Yes, indeed. Yes, I did finish. Well, that's why I'm here, right? But also, like, that's it's kind of expected because, like, I'm not the one that has to sign off on the document at the end. So, like, and it's due at midnight. So it would be me, like, it wouldn't be me working till midnight. Having said that, I never understood why things were due at midnight. It doesn't make any sense. Like like who's actually going to read anything on at midnight, right? Like, things I have always submitted things, or like when I'm able to set a deadline. Um, I tend to set deadlines at, like, before work, like that day before work. So say like 7 a.m., right? 7 a.m. Monday morning, 7 a.m. Wednesday morning. It just makes more sense that way, right? Because, like, personally, I like the idea of exactly. Like, you work until like 1 in the morning, and then you take a 5 hour nap. You get up and you read the the draft again, and then you send it off. Like, it just makes more sense that way. Like, why would something be due at midnight? Nobody's gonna read anything at midnight. Anyway. How are we all doing on this lovely Sunday? Yeah, nice, nice. Oh, good morning. Yes, exactly. I do enjoy, like, the quiet of a Sunday morning. And that's generally why I'm up at like 7:30 on a Sunday morning, regardless, because it's just more. I don't know. I feel more productive on a Sunday morning, which is really weird. Anyway, as we were discussing last time, today we are getting into, or as we were discussing yesterday, today we are getting into a. We're going to continue this because our sponsor is apparently very, very. What am I saying? Very generous, and so how can I say no, right? So, again, thank you very much to our two sponsors who have made this happen today. So we will continue now. No, it's not a drinks party. I'm having tea. I'm having, what is this? This is so this is jasmine tea. Yeah. So what happens with jasmine tea? A lot of the time, it's it's sold as like uh fragrant fragrant jasmine tea balls, but essentially what it is green tea leaves, like, individually, or one or two together. As they've been roasted with a lot of jasmine flowers, and so that infuses that taste into the leaves. But the leaves themselves, as they are roasted, they get clumped up into little, I guess, balls. And I'm actually not sure why that is. I assume that it is to preserve the fragrance of the jasmine, because normal green tea leaves, they just kind of like air dry or sun dry, and the leaves tend to shrivel, not shrivel, they shrink into, into, how do you say, like, they don't roll into a ball, but they roll into like a semi tube like structure, right? But in this case, in with good jasmine tea, they tend to roll them into balls. I have no idea why. Again, probably to preserve flavor. No, no. Anyway. So, if you will recall from when we did this last time, we had some success. The technocracy had technocracy, technocracy, whatever. The technocracy has had enough success in the West and in the North to consider this particular campaign a huge success, right? Like they've pushed, essentially this here was the starting line, and so they pushed from this area first west, and then with reinforcements northwards, and there's been a dramatic reconquering, and now it really needs to take some time to integrate this area. So first things first actually is we're going to take these our two artillery regiments are coming in for servicing. Perfect. And these two are going away. This one brigade level formation is going away, with the first corps taking space, taking the space that was originally taken by the 36th, and the 36th really needs to rest and recuperate because it had essentially been attacking into some very hard lines all this time. Yeah, so essentially what happens is, and this is how normal militaries do it as well, is if a formation has been in the field for a long time, it really needs to have downtime. And that's generally like you just bring another formation over to replace it. Third, let's see. Okay, so the 36th is now in the back as reserve, as it's recharging. The line here is settled. This direction, and in fact it is going to start like it. If you guys remember from last time, the 11th is essentially earmarked for an offensive into this area, right? And we can see that this area is quite, how do we say, it is fairly weak because there's only a single division here, and this division has already suffered, quite a few losses over the past campaign because it managed to push out of the exchange and reconquer the Bank of England mountain. And so this is ongoing. This should be set to not 2, maybe 5. And then this should be set to 5. This should be set to 5. We're good. And that's it for this no. We are also having an attack by the 2nd Guards in conjunction with the 11th. And so the idea is, because this area of the front is weak, and the 11th itself hasn't, it ran. Actually, let's go back and show you. The 11th was here, and it was always under the under threat of envelopment from the 7th and the 19th and the 18th, as it ran all the way back here, and then it came down here, right? So it's not full, and it's not, it's not a it's not, what am I saying? It is not a full complement division. Of course, there have been some losses, but comparatively, it is actually one of the stronger formations. right now, and so it's being used for what strong formations do, right? For breakthrough. Right. So we are incorporating another army corps here on this side, and this is just because these two formations are so far removed from this action that it becomes necessary for them to be controlled by someone else. And so the 15th and the 23rd were originally part of the 50th, no longer. All right, so we are incorporating, what was it, 50, 55? No, 56. 56. 56. And that actually makes a lot of sense, right? Like it is a important part of the flank, but you don't want your attacking corps commander to be responsible for his own flank. Like that's a lot of work for a attacking commander to do. I'm going to attack into here. In fact, the 5th guard will also attack into there. Okay, good. There are reinforcements coming from here, reinforcements coming from here. This line hasn't changed. The 3rd guards is nicely in place on top of St. Paul's Cathedral. It's particularly interesting to me, actually, because this is such a wonderful vantage point where basically nothing can get past, right? Like you just it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yes, so we've done these two. That is done. This attack is ongoing in an attempt to drive this away. That's not doing anything. The 1st is trying to do its own. It's trying to do its thing. And we see now that the new artillery regiments for the technocracy, they help, but they are not a game changer. And that is simply because the kind of terrain that we're fighting in makes artillery very difficult to operate, right? Because normally at this tech level, artillery are direct fire weapons, and by that I mean like you aim, you look at what you're aiming. No, you look at what you want to hit. You're able to see what you want to hit, and so you then adjust according to elevation and stuff. So you have to be able to see it before you can hit it. But you have buildings in the way, lots of buildings, and so that makes it difficult for the technocracy to use artillery as direct fire. And so what they end up having to do is like guess really hard on where the shells should land, and try to use artillery, like direct fire artillery, as howitzers. And that's harsh, man. That's hard. Anyway, so these two are ongoing. This has been pushed back into this area, while the 9th is now sort of, the 9th is like this, actually. And there is a line here. Should be not 1, 3. 3? What is this? This is 3, yeah, 3. So there's a 3, the 9th is down here, the 15th has been bled a little, the 19th is here. And so we want to actually do this properly, and so what that means is there is a like that, and then on the side there is a very thin, no, not like that, not like that, Stop. Stop laughing at my inability to draw. I'm using a mouse. Cut me some slack. No, don't talk to me on Slack. Please don't talk to me on Slack. Oh, I can't stand Slack, man. Oh my god. We just all agree to never use it. It's so... Ugh. Anyway. So, the commander of the 19th, I forgot his name. No, not Seafarer. The Normandy? I think it was... no, Brittany. Brittany, yes, that's right. General Brittany is organizing one last push to bring his formation into... Ooh, that's skew, eh? That was interesting, actually. He's organizing, anyway, one last push to meet the 20th and pull it out. Obviously, that's much more difficult now. Because we just have now a ton of like ad hoc formations in the area, right? So actually we'll bring this out and bring it out like this, and instead of calling it, you know, so and so brigade, this is a brigade level formation, and we'll call it what can we call it? Oh, right, I remember there was that one squirrel. Oh no, that was a So let's call this... The collective is named French, right? Yes. Or they have French names. So let's call this... Horizon. It can't be like that. Let's have 3, 4. There we go. Is that how you spell it? Let me just double check. Oh, frig, I completely misspelled it. Oh my god. Did you guys... Oops. Hold on, let me see what you guys see when I do that. Oh, nothing, eh? Still the same. Okay, good. G-O-G-N-E. Okay, I wasn't that far. Off. So our friend General Burgundy. Not General, like Major Burgundy. But this is too small, right? So what if we did... What if we did this? Let's move that up. Let's move this like so. And just did that. Ooh. Total can make that a little bit smaller. Like that. That's really weird though, isn't it? It's okay, we'll just leave it like this. Yeah, we'll leave it like this. And we'll set that to 8. Actually, yeah, we'll set that to 100%. So we have a group of like... It's a brigade level group of logistics officers, you know, rare echelon, security elements, you know, like secure... I already said security, so like you know, like extra manpower from the corps headquarters. All of that get pulled into one of these ad hoc elements and then thrown at the enemy. Like this. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Actually, that is where I took the inspiration from. Um, and we're not going to talk about that. Um, Actually, no, we can't talk about that. So during World War II, uh, and I'm sure if we look closely, we can see the inspiration already, right? Like we can see that the technocracy is has a much finer officer corps, not much finer, but a much more aggressive and independent officer corps, which it's which has has its advantages. Sometimes it has disadvantages. Uh, but that the technocracy itself is very much based on the ideas of the German general staff Prussia, of Prussian military. Um, like we can even consider it almost exactly Prussia, right? Because this is where we're running at the tech level of when Prussia was still a state, like late 1800s. In fact, you could even the squirrels could even be using Dry's guns, right? Like, actually, how do you pronounce his name? Reise? Zündnad Zündnadelgewehr. Yeah, so like needle guns where there's a pin at the bottom, and when you pull the trigger, the pin hits the powder inside inside the cartridges, and then that fires the gun, right? Yeah, Reise, right? I think he is German. Yeah, von Reise. Okay, so then it is Reise. Yeah, we're good. Dreis. I spent too I've spent too much time in North America. Anyway, all that aside, so this is done. This is the very first part of this day. We've spent too much time on it. Let's do the next one. B, and nothing happens on this end. We have a single division that's coming for the technocracy. No, two. Two divisions, and then we have a single one that's arriving for the collective. And we just gotta name them. Let's see. What are we naming? 15s, we have 17, 18, 19, we have 22nd. We don't have 20th and 21st, right? We don't. No, we do have 21st, so we don't have. Do we have 20th? We do have 20th. 22nd. So then 23rd and 24th. 23rd. On my colors. Let's do the collective one first because we have the red. Third. We'll start with like we have 53rd division, right? We do. We have 53rd. So let's do 61st. 61st. Excellent. What brought this on? The question was, am I ever gonna finish my PhD? The answer is I have no idea. Probably not. It's just, yeah, I don't know. That's a question for which I have no answer. What am I doing? This now goes back to 33. Since the formation has arrived. And we should say that it is in fact going to... It is actually being split into two, with one of its formations coming up to defend in this area to help the 9th, and the majority of the division moving southwards. I don't want arrows for this. No, I do. I want arrows for this. At least for the movement part. I wonder though if... Division headquarters are in the way, so we're just gonna move that first. It's going to reinforce that, but it is also going to go down here. Like so. That's really weird. No, it's not gonna have. We're not gonna have this. But we are going to move the core headquarters down this way. Oh, I forgot to do one thing. Let's go back to here. I forgot to do a... Oh, didn't I? Okay. So this is army level. Isn't this army level? Yeah, army level is supposed to be 7. Why is this 5? So this is army level, and then we need one that's at corp level, which is this one. Right? Is this 5? Yeah, this is 5. It's supposed to be 7. Weird. Okay. This is also 5. Ugh. We'll pretend we never saw that. It's okay. This is 5. Perfect. Okay. So this is 5. This goes over here. Okay. Okay. We haven't done much here, right? Oh no, we've put in the... Ugh. Okay, we'll just redo it. It's fine, it's all fine, it's all fine, everything's fine. Don't know what you're talking about, everything's fine. 7. This comes over here. And we are actually going to pull one. Yeah. So this is army level. Oops. And this is core. Army core level. That goes away. Am I taking too long? I'm sorry. Am I actually sorry? No, not really. So the 11th. I know I'm all over the place. It's just easier for me to build while I'm all over the place. Yes, I realize I have I haven't named the technocratic divisions yet. Just give me 1 second. Just hold on. This is 3. And then we're gonna do this. Bam! See? Now we're in the blue. Are we? Oh, no, we're not. There, now we're in the blue. And we're doing 23rd and 24th. Yes, I remember. I remember. Don't worry. Oh, that reminds me of Sound of Music. How often have you guys watched The Sound of Music? Bet it's not as often as I did. Yeah, for a while, my parents, like, for whatever reason, we would watch once a week. Like, start to finish, once a week. And by the end of it, I could actually, I genuinely, I promise you, like you start with um just like any phrase from the movie, and I could just like continue the dialogue from there. Yeah, no, I promise. Like absolutely, it was incredible. I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't incredibly nerdy, but it was. I don't know why, but they liked it, and so as a family, we would just continue watching it. Watch it continuously, man. Did your parents do that as well? It's really weird though, right? Because it's like I feel like it's an immigrants thing. Like my, because yeah, exactly, right? Because none of the rest of you did. So if it's only the two of us, then it must be an immigrants thing. Like we're suddenly exposed to this ancient movie. Dame Julie Andrews, is she still? She must be still. Like, what would she look? Actually, let me find out if she's still alive. Julie Andrews. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, she's 85 now. 86. Oh my god. Wow. With a career spanning 9 decades, she's 85, man. Oh, did she really start when she was young then? I guess. Boy. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, actually is gets sidetracked. These two are, but of course that's because the 23rd to make the layout. Let's see. Now we get to this 9 plus. Let us do something for the 9. Oops. And then that'll be the red. Good. Oops. This is continuing on this end. Excellent. And so the 19th is pushed further in this direction. So with the 61st here, suddenly there is a case to be made for trying to break through to the sea, right? Like, if with the aid of the 19th and the 20th, whatever's remaining of the 20th, they can get on top of the HMRC building, then suddenly these two blocks will be cut off from each other. And that's dangerous. That's absolutely dangerous. We shall see, shan't we? This should be 100%. Yeah, that's good. Like that. But you know, even if there is a cutoff here at HMRC, there is still not that big of a deal. Simply because London Bridge is in existence, right? So there is still supply that's the very much easy to come here. Millennium Bridge, I forgot the Millennium Bridge was here. This is not a supply point. This is not a supply point. I don't think any squirrels would dare to cross the Millennium Bridge. Have you guys gone on there? Like it's I don't even want to talk about it. So the supply for the First Army is still coming over. Either the Cannon Street, it's being carried over by train, or it's being carried over by hand in this direction. Good. So those two have been repaired. And actually, there should be some amount of movement on this end. Since there is no offensive going on right now, both artillery regiments are being brought eastwards to aid in the defense of this area. So it doesn't look like there will be much of a breakthrough here. Let's continue to do this. So this attack is ongoing, but the greatest joys of joys, this has succeeded. Success. Where there we go. Where there is now a connection between these two formations. Yes, I know I was just talking about it. Yes, I know. I know. So essentially what's happening then is the 20th, because it has re-established contact with the 19th, is, you know, in itself not really able to do much of an attack. But because the 19th now has support from the 61st, like, it's essentially, it's pulling its own formations forward while the 61st fills in the back. It is going to attempt this, exactly what we just talked about. But of course, it still has to deal with the technocracy trying to say no, right? Because it's not like war is a one-dimensional thing. You have to always deal with the enemy. Yeah, exactly. Okay, I think that's it for this round. Those two are fighting. Those two are fighting. There's an interesting little push in on this end, actually. So the 15th has inroads, but so what is this? Weird. Give me 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. I'll answer your question in a second. Okay, so the question was, what am I doing? Well, I mean, obviously, you know, if you care to actually watch the last however long we've done, actually, let's do a time check. If you care to watch the last however long this was, if you care to wake up on time, coincidentally, good morning to you. If you care for all of that, you would know that we are today continuing our foray into the world of the Squirrel Civil War, right? I'm not going to go into details about what happened because that would take forever. You can always watch the VOD. And now the 19th is now sitting here. The 20th is now sitting here. The 61st is sitting... Oh my god. This is a complex situation. Oops. 60. Actually, no. The 20th. We'll just say it's. Oops. We'll just say it's sitting here. Yeah, like that. Like that. Excellent. Come on, come on. Sometimes I don't know if it's my computer lagging or if it is just that I didn't click properly. Because you guys can see sometimes when I click on something, it takes a little bit for it to respond, and that's just because there are like right now 1 billion vector elements. Oh, this actually needs to change just a little. like that. Perfect. That, and then a defensive line on this end. Good. It does look kind of crazy, doesn't it? Give me one moment. Yes. So we do have one more on each side. One more division. Oh. One more division here. One more division here. So the 20th, we can let's just say that it is now recovering. It's back. We'll do this one first. We were at 24, so this is 25th. That's actually a really good question. What happens once things get so big that we cannot afford to show individual divisions anymore? Well, then we'll just start drawing like front lines, and we'll here. Actually, let's see where I can show this. Essentially, yeah. If I just delete those three, right? Essentially, it would look something like this with the 6 counter being in the middle, and then you have these lines that show the front, and then maybe we'll have like whatever those division names were, or the division counters were. Excuse me, come back. Yeah. So like we would have a little 7 here, 7th, 19th, and 18th, just their cardinal numbers. Yeah, that's generally how it's done when things get really complicated, like here, right? Like we actually didn't have room for the 20th, but I didn't want to just not have the counter, so I made the decision to just pull it back like that. But you can imagine technically the 20th is still like here. It's in a pretty big traffic jam. This is the 62nd. Oh, hello. Here we go. 62nd. Perfect. And so the 62nd division. Oof. Will actually join in on a counteroffensive in this direction, and then this moves in this direction like this. Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. It is getting a bit real here, isn't it? But I don't think the 19th and the 16th are going to be able to reach this. It's like the 24th is in position, right? So if the 19th were to cross in force, it would just get slammed in the back by a full formation. So that's not very likely. The 25th is... Where is the 25th going? It's going in this direction. And it's, yeah, I should also mention it's interesting that there is no movement on this end, because there's just not a lot of ways for that to move. And also, yes, I didn't make this, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. We might have to expand the map soon. You're right. Yeah, very much so. Just because it's getting kind of cramped, right? Especially in the north. So I'll probably add in this area. Or I might not. It depends on how things go, but I think we'll be expanding eastwards just because of the sheer amount of formations here. And like I'm sure our friend General Elm is jealous of how much the First Army has accomplished. You would be too if it were you. So obviously, with the arrival of 2 full artillery regiments, this attack is gonna get shut down basically immediately. And with the arrival of the 23rd to slot neatly into place for the 3rd Division, 3rd Corps, it's probably also going to slow down again, right? Like, even if the 6th does retreat southwards, actually the 6th should retreat southwards. Like, before the 23rd arrived, the 6th was already in process of retreating. And just so I'm not a liar, there we go. The 6th was retreating, the headquarters of the 3rd is retreating. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a lot of formations for one single corps to keep up. Lines here are static. Static. We have done basically everything. Let's see. Yeah, because the only part of the front that moved was basically here and here. There are attacks ongoing in this area, but they're not yet. They are not yet. Oh no. Yeah, they're not yet useful. Let's see. That has stopped. That has stopped. And in fact, the first is in the process of just helping this area. This gets a 500 boost. So this attack isn't necessarily, well, it is a spoiling attack, right? Well, spoiling, quote unquote spoiling. But the point is, if the technocrats have really exhausted themselves, then great, you will gain some territory. If not, then at least we'll take pressure off the 23rd, such that we can maintain sort of this front. Nothing's happened here. In fact, this should go down to 5. 5. There we go. So we have had some change. It's 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. There we go. Okay, perfect. Last one. And yes, I know we're almost out of time. Let's make sure we finish this one and then we'll be good. So the 24th. Excuse me. I just want my arrow, man. 24th is attacking in this direction, and that's forcing this to withdraw like that. The 19th is, it's not gonna make it, right? Like, we talked about it already, how I didn't think it was going to make it, and indeed it didn't. Between the 19th and the 16th, they're both still, I mean, there has been some progress. Ugh. Okay. There we go. There has been some progress where essentially... Ooh. Come on, come on. I'm not in a rush, but it's just like... I need a better way of doing it where we are just all so cramped up together. Let's pretend I didn't put it. Let's pretend I didn't put it that way, shall we? Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yes, I like the way you think. Let's call it a mishmash of squirrels. Not that other word. No, it's not an orgy of squirrels. See, happy? You better pay up now, eh? The point was, someone said they'll sponsor. Sorry, one quick second. Someone said he'd sponsor if I used the word that chat was using, so I did. And so now he better pay up, or we're gonna go to court. I have undeniable proof that you claimed. So this is going now. We're probably going to see a period of reorganization and then an attempt to retake Fenchurch, right? Because this is just too tempting. The amount of formations that's sitting inside this pocket, like it if it doesn't remind you of Kursk, nothing will, right? It's even east and west, and it's yeah. Let's see. We are going to have to do this. So the 6th has retreated to the south of Threadneedle, and these two. Let's just move these aside for. I pressed the wrong button. I don't know if you guys noticed how long it was between me pressing a button and like the delete button and this formation actually disappearing off screen. It's upsetting. Anyway, so what happened? Essentially nothing, right? Like the collective lines and the technocratic lines are back to Threadneedle. There is now a beachhead. I guess it is beachhead. Whatever. Bridgehead. There we go. On the Bank of England building, and so there's going to be some fighting there. But in general, nothing much more is going to come out of this. Let's get 5. The second, though, is continuing this because this area is too big of a bridgehead. Yes, that's right, bridgehead. To just let the collective keep. So there's extra work being done here. I know I can't rush. See, I knew someone would say something. But yeah, this will get cleaned up sooner or later. Good question. Will we see this third being split up? Maybe. Right? Because the 21st can go very well into the first. In fact, let's do that. Yeah. I'm gonna pull that. The 21st is now part of the first court. That means it's 4, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Let's take a look at this. Essentially, all these attacks are now yeah. All these attacks are slowing down. There's not much that's going to happen. The 19th and the 61st are maybe get squeezed out. They will definitely once a full attack comes on from either side. Oh, just double checking. Yes, we did have another formation that I forgot about. And that's here. This goes back to 33. I need blue. So let's take that blue. And then this will be 30. Nicely done. I'm impressed. We'll talk about it once we get back to the overworld map. But essentially, what my friend over there has discovered, and what I was not going to talk about, but since you've mentioned it already, essentially once we have another division here, once we have another formation here, this is looking quite busy, right? Like the 16th, like the two formations is enough to essentially hold this line. What is the new formation going to do? Well, remember how before I had said that railways are difficult to cross if you have no backup, no support, right? So currently there's only a single brigade. So if we have enough firepower, could we do something interesting with a railway? And the answer is, I think, yes. And there's more formations coming on this side, so what's going to happen, right? Good question, actually. Yes. So if the 25th comes up to the first corps, will we split this into more? Probably. So what'll happen is the third will probably take left. 3 will probably instantiate another formation, probably a 7th corps. That'll be here. And then the first will take the 3 divisions that are here. And then that'll be our second army. And then our third army will... Exactly. It'll be a big reorganization. And then we'll see if there's something that can be done on this end. Yeah, like you can imagine Whitechapel is actually quite... It's a good line, right? So, and then you have these vertical defensive lines. So I very much doubt that the technocracy will go deep in this direction. If anything, what would happen is probably a shorter thrust and then a right hook down and meeting something that comes out on this side in an attempt essentially to save this area, right? Yeah. But having said that, the first army now has reserves. Oh, we're at an hour. Okay, we'll cut it off soon. The first army now has reserves, right? So that's not to say that they'll just lie down and die. But having said that, there is a difficulty for reinforcing from this end. So reinforcements might start having to come from here, and that makes it slower. Why was this at 66? Has this been at 66 all this time? Ooh, my bad. I remember what I wanted to do, but it's too late now. So this will remain 33. Why are you... There we go. Okay. 33. Okay, we're good. Yeah. Excellent question. I feel like you guys are all just like secret nerds. And you, or maybe you're just being slowly corrupted by, I don't know, watching me paint on a map. The question was, couldn't there be an attack from this end? And the answer is not really. Because if you guys remember, I don't know if there were still... Yeah, there was an attack that developed for quite a while up there, and it ran into very well defended lines, because these lines have sat here for a few days now, right? So they've been fortified quite well. Yeah, exactly. It's as my... Oh, I did not do this, did I? Oops. So the 25th is actually here now. Here. And we'll see that reorganization much sooner than I expected. So the 25th comes here, and then this becomes the second army, this becomes the third army. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, exactly. Like, you cannot let like, formations have to be flexible enough that you cannot let them just randomly, like if you let a commander hold on to things that he shouldn't be holding on to because there are more important things for him to focus on, then that's a recipe for disaster, right? Just want to double check. This is 66, 100, and done. Okay, good. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Massive nerds that you are. Oh, fucking hell. I think the stream is still working to YouTube. I know it's still working to Discord, but I don't know if it's still working to YouTube. Anyway, we shall pick this up in the future. In conclusion, download Firefox, don't do Chrome. Bye bye.